Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, so today I'm bringing you a quite interesting, intriguing, fascinating, alternate format game. Now, do not turn this video off. I'm going to give you 2 reasons you should watch this. Number 1, these are interesting, entertaining games that will make you think about things you haven't usually had a chance to think about, and, watching them will make you better at the Pokémon Trading Card Game, as well as entertain you. And number 2, this tournament was stacked with Worlds players. Over half of the Masters here have their invitation for Worlds, and on the videos I'm showing you, there is just one player who does not have their invitation for Worlds. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's fascinating. Now, the format is Breakthrough, Breakpoint and Fates Collide commons and uncommons. No rares and no cards that aren't from those 3 sets. Don't worry, I've done some extra editing, so this video is going to be very easy to watch because all the cards you need to know about will be appearing on screen as we go. And I cannot say any nicer and fairer than that. I should also mention here that we are playing with 40 card decks, not 60. We are playing 4 prizes, not 6. And you are only allowed 2 copies of each card, other than basic energy, rather than 4. We are playing best of 3, 30 minutes. I assure you it is long enough. And we are playing top cut timing rules. There are no ties. And if that is not a reason to watch, I don't know what is. Grab a cold beverage, sit down tight. This is going to be awesome. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so heading into we actually skipped a round, we're in round 4 now. We have a bonus video from round 3, we recorded a couple seniors, that will be coming at the end. But here on the left we have got Connor Bird, a newer player, but one who has already got his World invite for the year. He's pretty gosh darn good. On the right, let's call her Lacey. Lovely lady who agreed to be on stream but didn't really want to be kind of on stream and shouted about and all of that, but agreed to play the game on stream, so thank you very much to her. We'll call her Lacey. She's going to be playing a Snorlax Granbull deck, not unlike the deck I was going to and should have played, and Connor is going to be playing a deck kind of like we saw from Reese Williams earlier on. I believe it was round 1. So we've got a Diglett in the active. Remember the free retreat that Diglett has. And he's got a couple of Heatmores on the bench. So what he's going to be looking to do here is get rolling nice and quickly. Lacey, for her part, she has got a Snorlax with a Fighting Fury belt. Oh, and getting rid of a double colourless energy on an Ultra Ball is not ideal here. But Connor kind of has to. And the reason he has to is because he needs that Zygarde. That Zygarde is going to be attempting to KO the fighting weak Snorlaxes, as well as block the attacks from the Fairy-type Granbull. So for the time being, Connor's thinking, right, I need to get this Zygarde. It's going to be really good against this deck. So let's just pop a Fighting Fury Bout and an energy onto a Heatmore. 20 damage, plus 20 because of the tool, plus 10 damage because the tool's a Fighting Fury Bout, minus 30 because of Snorlax's ability. It's looking, it's not doing a huge amount. Snorlax is a tank. Right now, that Snorlax has 160 HP and is reducing damage done by 30. That's good. The 4 energy for 50, 80 on a coin flip, even with the Fighting Fury Bout, that won't one-hit KO a Heatmore. That is, shall we say, less than ideal. So we see it looks there like there was a strong energy going down on the Zygarde from Connor there. He will need a DCE as well as that strong energy, unfortunately. We know he's got 1 in the discard, but in this format, you can play 2 of each card. So oh, he's got 1. He actually does have his final 1, but that is the entirety of his hand. Now, does he need anything? Not for the time being. He doesn't need much at all. Now, it looks like he's managed to do 40... Oh, no, sorry, there's 3 turns. There's 3 turns of the Heatmore gone on at 20 damage a turn. Now the Snorlax has enough energy on. They're playing a very brisk pace here. There's now 4 energy on the Snorlax. We saw a Heads and that... No, we didn't. We saw a Tails. 50 damage plus the 10 for Fighting Fury Belt. Another 20 damage on the Snorlax from the Heatmore, and this is going the way that Connor wants it to go. Because right now, he's got that Zygarde ready to come in. Aura Break will be doing 90 damage with the strong energy, times by 2 for the weakness, will be 180. And that's going to give a KO pretty quickly. Now, if you're wondering what's on Lacey's bench, that is a Cottony. We shall see if that comes out and evolves into anything good later on. So Lacey's asking there just, can I see a bit of the old Zygarde there? And unfortunately, that Zygarde, 90 damage times 2 is 180, minus the 30 for the ability, is 150, which is not enough to get a one-hit KO, but the Snorlax, because it's got 160 with a Fighting Fury belt, the Snorlax there did not have a... It was not completely untarnished there. He'd taken a little bit of damage. So we do see an energy going down on the Cottony there. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, Cottony evolves into Whimsicott. It's going to be interesting to see if we do see a Whimsicott coming out. As it is, we see the Cottony going into the active. Oh, and it's even attacking. Go Cottony, quite frankly. Unfortunately, it only does 10 damage. It is not all that, and a bag of potato chips goes away before the Whimsicott can even go up. Whimsicott does 40 damage for 1 energy, and you get to move an energy onto one of your bench Pokemon. In fact, let's stick it up on the screen right now. Hopefully I remember to do that during editing. You already know if I have or not. I, on the other hand, am wondering. There's a Giovanni scheme, 20 extra damage, and that is a KO with Zygarde. Heavy Boots came out there and gave a little bit of extra HP onto the Snorlax. Also meant that it could not be confused. Heavy Boots is a tool that can only be attached to a Pokemon with a retreat cost of 3 or higher. That's 1, 2, 3. 20 more HP and cannot be confused. Unfortunately, there is a KO there. Hey-ho, these things happen. I don't think he even needed the Giovanni's X. I think he was doing 90 times 2 is 180, and Snorlax essentially had 170, 120 as a base, 20 for the heavy boots, and 30 for the ability. Either way, it doesn't really matter there. And we see the strength of Connor's deck. Now, it's always interesting. Oh, actually, sorry, while we're between games here, huge shout out to Sutton Coldfield Pokemon Club. Said it a bit fast in the first video. And to Joanna and Glenn for setting up the tournament, for running it nicely, for allowing me to record. It is one of my very favourite places to play in the UK. If you're ever anywhere around, pop down and say hello. They are wonderful, wonderful people. And it's a wonderfully friendly and inclusive club. So, it's always interesting to see what's going to be good. Now, you look at Gramble. Gramble does 120 damage for free energy, a fairy and a double colourless. In this format, that is spectacular. So, something like a Zygarde. Now, in regular format, Zygarde's terrible. 70 damage for free energy. It's not all that and a bag of potato chips, ladies and gentlemen. It's not particularly great. However, it stops attacks from a dark or fairy Pokemon. Now again, that's not usually amazing. But in a format where Granbull is clearly one of the best choices, you can turn off Granbull. We've also seen Kangaskhan in previous videos. That's a very good Pokemon. 40 for 2 energy, 100 for 4, bearing in mind we've got both Max Elixir and Double Colourless. Double Colourless counts as 2 energy. Max Elixir lets you look at the top 6 cards of your deck. If you find a basic energy there, you may attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. So you can get them rolling nice and quickly. So given that Kangaskhan's good, Snorlax is good, and Granbull is good, it turns Dog Zygarde from a potentially rubbish Pokemon, why would anyone play it, to an actually genuinely viable option. Now, I like that we've got Lacey on the stream in this particular round, because I'm not sure anyone else at this tournament was playing Cottony and Whimsicott. Now, as it is at the moment, 50 HP, Fairy Wind doing 10 for a single damage. It's not particularly amazing, but Whimsicott can be fun. Just, 40 damage, pop an energy to your bench, and that means that you can set up while you do a little bit of damage. So Whimsicott here can just do 40 damage, pop an energy onto a Snorlax or a Granbull, do 40 damage, and so on and so forth. So we see an Ultra Ball coming down there, getting rid of a single Puzzle of Time. As you can only play 2 copies of each card, there will be no double Puzzle of Time for Connor this game. Now, he does play a Giovanni scheme. He has a choice of what to do. He can either do 20 more damage with his attacks or draw until he's got 5 cards in hand. He chose to draw until he had 5 cards in hand. He's now doing 20 damage, plus 20 because he's got a tool, plus 10 because it's a Fighting Fury bout. That is 50. Cottony only has 50 HP. Now we see the Granbull coming down from Lacey, but she doesn't have any energy on it. Now, Granbull does have an attack for a double colorless energy. It's not particularly great, but it's one of those, if there's nothing better, it might be worth a punt. Startling Bark, flip a coin. If heads, choose 3 random cards from your opponent's hand. They shuffle them into their deck. It's not a particularly great attack, but it's better than nothing. We saw there, though, that Lacey did not have a double colorless, so she had to just go ahead and pass the turn. That Fighting Fury Belt as well, not doing anything on Granbull, because Fighting Fury Belt, you can attach it to whoever you like, but it only really has an effect on a basic Pokemon. Granbull, not a basic Pokemon. It's a stage 1. And a stage 1 that has been thoroughly unloved in the Pokemon trading card game. There is never, as far as I'm concerned, I cannot remember a good Granbull card ever being printed. The very first one in Heart Gold Soul Silver was a rare. I must have pulled 6, 7, 8 of these bad boys from packs, and it ain't no good. I don't remember ever playing against a Granbull in a tournament, and I didn't actually play Granbull in this tournament, but I considered it. I never even really considered going ahead and, playing a Granbull in any tournament other than this. Granbull's not particularly good. So there we see 50 damage coming down from the Heatmore, and Granbull there, 70 HP remaining. It'll take another hit from the Heatmore unless Connor has a double colorless energy. If Connor has a double colorless energy, he can do Heatmore's second attack for 70, plus 10 for the Fighting Fury bout is 80, and the KO. So we might see him dig for that next turn. He's got a Sycamore in hand. He can play the Sycamore and just go for it. Try and end the game here. Oh, he's got a Scorched Earth, so he can discard a Fire Energy from his hand, draw 2 cards. There's a double colorless. He can do 80 damage, get the KO, and the win right here. And that will be the game for Connor. A very good player, world player. Congratulations to him. And thank you to Lacey for being on stream. As I said, she wasn't massively keen on being on stream, but she agreed to be on stream. She agreed to be recorded. And she gave us a good game here. Let us have a look at other cards. Little bit more one-sided than the first 2 games, which is a little bit upsetting, but these things happen. I have made it very clear I'm a huge fan of this format. With these videos, I don't upload them for the sake of it. I have recorded bad games at tournaments in the past and gone, I'm not putting it up. My viewers deserve better. I think these games are worth watching. I'm a big fan. The first one is performing quite well. People are enjoying it. The feedback is excellent. #DigletDig. So let's keep rolling. Now there's one more game to go, maybe a bonus. We'll see how that one shakes out. Connor is going to be taking on UK National Champion Tamao. And like I've said, a lot of Worlds players at this tournament. Fun little tournament. So you know the deal. Click that like button. Click that subscribe button. And if you already have, get a friend to subscribe on your behalf. And pop a comment down below. If you've got nothing else, just stick a little #DigletDig. And as always, the most important thing by far, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.